My mother asked me if I washed the dishes. I only said 2 words in response. Sergio Perez. No other words were spoken in that conversation because she knew they were washed. In the entire history of Formula 1, there have been many drivers. Many drivers have gone on to achieve pure and absolute greatness.
Lewis Hamilton wins the Turkish Grand Prix and is a 7-time champion of the world.
But of course, just like with everything, there can't be good without evil. There can't be a Batman without the Joker, and so on and so forth. There can't be the yin without the yang. There can't be light without the dark. If there's good drivers in Formula 1, there has to be god treacherous, awful people who can't even finish a race.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
And by not finishing a race, I mean they crash out every single race. They are awful. They don't deserve to be in the sport because they are not cut for it. But the drivers who I'm going to talk about today, that's not really a debate of whether they should be in the sport or not. It's they shouldn't be in the team that they are currently, and potentially that means they shouldn't even be in the sport. There's always been debates in Formula 1 whether someone is up for it, whether, let's say, Daniel Ricciardo, is he really up for it? Villeneuve had a couple words to say, but I'm pretty sure he's been smoking a lot of things, and he's always had some interesting things to say. And a lot of people have said interesting things about him. The worst world champion in Formula 1? He probably owns that status. But I'd rather be a world champion than a washed 8-time race winner. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, the fact that this is even a debate whether these drivers should be in the team they are, should be in Formula 1 in general, is a tiny bit mysterious to me, and it plays with my mind. Why are you even considering this?
Perez isn't performing well. Red Bull, they might be struggling. Isn't that an opportunity for McLaren or Ferrari to win the championship? If you want to see that happen, I think you should subscribe and like, otherwise it won't happen.
There's a similarity between all Formula 1 drivers that there have ever been in the entire history of Formula 1. They have always, at one point in their careers, been rookies. And on one hand, you might have some amazing rookies like Lewis Hamilton winning a race in his 6th ever race, scoring a podium in his 1st ever race, and so on and so forth, going on to achieve absolute greatness. But there are also rookies who maybe they stay in the sport for a single season because they're awful, and then get booted out because they're awful. Now, on one hand, they are rookies that are bad, and they are quite unlucky to not have another chance in Formula 1, because hey, it's your rookie season, right? You aren't expected to be an absolute great Giga Chad of an absolute human driver. You're a rookie at the end of the day, and I think everyone's mind has been somewhat warped by the things that, say, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, and of course Lewis Hamilton have managed to do in the past in their rookie seasons. But say you get past your rookie season and you're onto your 2nd season in Formula 1, you're expected to be somewhat good by then, right? And if you're not, then most likely you're gonna get booted as well. Mick Schumacher wasn't the greatest in his 1st season. He got another chance in his 2nd season, also wasn't the greatest, scored points twice, and that was literally the end of it. Got sacked after. So that then nicely brings us on to the infamous Logan Sargeant. He's an American Formula 1 driver who most of the time is driving on the wrong side of the track. Now you might be thinking there's only a left or a right lane in a Formula 1 track. You're correct, but the thing that you're not correct about is that most of the time he's facing the wrong direction. Not on purpose, but by mistake. And those mistakes happen a lot. And by a mistake, I mean a crash facing another direction, which isn't on the tarmac going in the correct direction. Anyway, let's start from the beginning. Logan Sargeant arrived in Formula 1 last year in 2023, and throughout that season, he managed pretty much nothing. In the time where Alex Albon was scoring like 27 points throughout the entire season, Logan Sargeant managed a nice little humble of 1, and that wasn't on merit, it was because 2 drivers got disqualified. Now, he might not have been leading the championship or been even close, but he was leading something, and that something wasn't the greatest of achievements to hold in Formula 1. That was probably the Destructors Championship. He held that trophy proud because the amount of damage that he did to that Williams team was probably unfathomable and something that Williams didn't really want. A team that is Very, very broke and a team that wants to get back up to the top, but they can't if they have a driver hindering their performances, dragging them down like an anchor in water, stuck in the sand. It's pretty hard to develop or, hey, even upgrade a car when half of your money is being spent into the repairs of a certain driver named Logan Sargeant. Every weekend, it was at least a front wing that was being damaged. That itself was like 125k. Light work though, you know what I'm saying? But the amount of huge impacts he had, not sure how he didn't get a concussion, or maybe throughout all of those impacts that he's had, something's gone wrong in his brain, and now, yet again, he's not performing the greatest. His rookie season wasn't the greatest on the planet, but hey, neither was Nick DeVries. Oh, yeah, he got dropped. But neither was Piastri actually did have a good rookie season. The same rookie season, he managed to win a race. Not an actual race, a sprint race, but he actually managed to do something. Stand on the podium multiple times? Actually doing well. Maybe a rookie can do something good. That is, unless you're Logan Sargeant. Now, on a real, many drivers don't have a good rookie season. Yuki Tsunoda, he didn't have a good rookie season, and look where he is now, beating an 8-time race winner, and potentially even maybe being able to get the Red Bull seat in the next couple of years. But Logan Sargeant, he hasn't been improving whatsoever in all of the time that he's been in that Williams seat. Seems like the gap is getting bigger and bigger. Last year in quali, there was like an 8/10 difference, and he hasn't beaten Alex Albon in a single qualifying session in all of the sessions that we've had in Formula 1. Now, it seemed like for the first time ever in Canada, Logan Sargeant, is he cooking? Alex Albon even admitted, Logan Sargeant, fair play to him, he's been faster than me all weekend. But still, Alex Albon manages to qualify higher than him. Logan Sargeant, the mistakes keep creeping in, and it doesn't seem like they're getting away from it. It seems like the mistakes are still going to be there. And in the race, you know, faster race pace, faster quali pace, apparently according to Alex Albon, his teammate. I would even admit that, but fair play for him to do that. So now surely Logan Sargeant could potentially cook up in the race, make up some ground, starting P13 or something. Hey, who knows? You might be able to do something. But a nice little lockup doesn't really help, does it? He got back on his way, and then a couple laps later, bins it into the wall, like Logan Sargeant does best, costing the team, yet again, more money to develop the car. A team that really wants to do well, a team that wants to develop the car, doesn't really need a driver who's going to crash out every single weekend. Doesn't make sense. Throughout all of the time that James Vowles has been team principal of Williams, he's always been level-headed. He's always tried to, hey, Logan Sargeant, I understand that you're a rookie, and I'm trying to help you as much as possible. But now it comes to a point where he's putting his foot down. He's like, I guess what, Logan Sargeant, we genuinely don't want you in the team anymore because the amount of things that you're doing to the team, ruining everything that we've ever done. You're ruining it. James Vowles, he wants Sainz. Sainz is his main priority. His main priority isn't to help Logan Sargeant anymore. He's a lost cause. He can get in the bin. Who cares? He might even be out by the end of the season. Probably not. But Kimi Antonelli might want a couple free drives in that Williams car before he steps into the Mercedes probably next year. So potentially, he actually might be out in the summer. But James Vowles' beady eyes, they are set on Carlos Sainz, and that isn't good for Logan Sargeant. Because Williams being one of the worst cars on the grid, where else is he to go? No other team's going to want him. Goodbye. In the nicest way possible, he's had countless opportunities. Apparently, he's going to have 2 seasons, and in those 2 seasons, he won't be able to do anything. There's trust in a driver, say Alex Albon, and there's the definition of not trusting someone in Logan Sargeant, not giving him any of the good parts that Alex Albon has, because he knows that Logan Sargeant is going to ruin him. So what's the point of even giving it to him? There is no point, and that's why Logan Sargeant is a gone driver. Bye-bye. You don't deserve to be in the sport. Sorry to say. NASCAR might be a better option for you. All you have to do is turn left. You don't even have to think about turning right or pretty much braking. Turn left and you're fine. And you know, NASCAR, you can bump cars a lot, not much will happen. We know that you like to hit either the cars or the wall. You can do that in NASCAR all you want. And it's American. That will suit you that much better.
I'm gonna drive and I'm gonna go fast and I'm gonna turn to the left sometimes.
Perez, you make an appearance yet again. And I'm not talking about an appearance of, in the video, me talking about you yet again of how bad you are. I'm talking about another appearance. Appearance in the wall. It seems like the class of 2011 wasn't the strongest of all. Jerome, Di Resta, Maldonado, where are they? They're not in the sport, are they? And then you're left with two other drivers. Ricciardo, who for one is Ricciardo this season and last season and the season before and the season before. And then you also have the infamous, the glorious, that everybody loves him, I don't know why, the Sergio of the Perezes.
What the fuck?
He was once called the Minister of Defense, and defending he was good at, and he was great, defending against Hamilton, defending against Bottas, helping Max Verstappen secure that championship. He was so good. Not just that, but he could actually sometimes win races just on pure pace. Being crashed out of the first corner, being P20, somehow managing to scramble his way up to P1 and stand on the podium like an absolute champ. Absolutely fantastic. You see, unlike Logan Sargeant, Sergio Perez at one point in his career was great. He was fantastic, he was fast, he was fierce. But similarly to Logan Sargeant, right now, he is very, very bad. Very. Like, I couldn't even explain to you in English words how awful he is. Now, I'm going to put this out there. Sergio Perez does deserve to be in Formula 1, but in Red Bull, I don't think so. I think he definitely deserves a good car, but not a car that could fight for championships. You know, that Force India Racing Point, I think that was perfect for him. I don't think he deserves anything better or anything worse. A good middle ground of cars, that is the skill level which he is at. But once he is given an absolute tremendous car, well, Verstappen is winning every single race.
Max Verstappen wins for Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen.
And in the exact same car that Verstappen is doing that, winning every single race, Sergio Perez is, for one, struggling to make it out of Q1 and just being, what, a second slower in qualifying? And you know what? Fair enough. You might be a slow qualifier. Okay, and you know what? You might be a worse qualifier than your teammate. Then you can make it up in the race. But Sergio Perez can't even do that. In some races, he won't just make up the positions. He'll finish the race dangling down where he was where he qualified, near the bottom. But some races where he can't even make up any moves, he'll decide to bin it into the wall. Some occasions that isn't necessarily 100% his fault, like in Monaco, could have left Magnussen some room. But I think crashing out twice in Canada, that says a lot about you. Making some pretty stupid contact with Pierre Gasly, and then deciding to crash out on your own. Why? Just drive a normal race. And now equally you might be thinking, Carlos Sainz, he did the exact same thing in the exact same corner. Crashed out and plus crashed out somebody else. Now, yes, he did do that. And why aren't you putting Carlos Sainz in someone who doesn't deserve to be in Formula 1? Well, he's won a race this year. He's stood on the podium a lot of times, actually been good this season, been faster than his teammates on some occasions this season, crashed out of quali, still out-qualified his teammate, been good, and he's still being booted out of Ferrari. So by that logic, Sergio Perez being even worse than Carlos Sainz compared to his teammate, he should have been out of that Red Bull even sooner than Carlos Sainz was. The only real words to sum up Sergio Perez's career in the last couple of years would be slow, crashes, gravel, awful, sometimes good, and that's literally it.
All, folks.
The only real reason why Sergio Perez is in that car in the first place is to keep Max Verstappen quiet, put that puppy to sleep. Max Verstappen is already under as much threat as he could be from Lando Norris or Charles Leclerc, and adding another driver in that Red Bull seat to create even more frustration for him, that wouldn't be the greatest for his heart BPM levels. Everybody wants to see two good drivers be in a good team battling it out for the championship. How better would have the last two seasons been if there were two people in that Red Bull fighting for the championship? Similarly to Mercedes in 14, 15, 16, it was still, oh my god, who might win? Yeah. But the last two seasons have just been a guaranteed $1 million jackpot if you said Max Verstappen. And Sergio Perez is just being played like a fiddle, dragged around to the ground. He's gotten a 1-year extension contract and potentially another year if, you know, things go well. At the moment, that doesn't look like it, because in the last 3 races, he hasn't gotten into Q3, and he's just had poor races. And all of the drivers are as good as their last race. Crashing out at your last race, not making out of Q1, pretty bad drive. But it's not just the entertainment part of Formula 1 that is kind of worrying if there's, you know, Sergio Perez is doing Sergio Perez things. I mean, yes, he is being entertaining of fueling up my system every time he crashes. Safety car red flag, okay, that's cool. but there's also another slight issue for Red Bull. Say McLaren and Ferrari both have two good drivers who can consistently be scoring wins and podiums and being up there scoring so many points for the Constructors' Championship. And Red Bull, they only have one sole driver, that being Max Verstappen. It seems like if the trajectory carries on and Sergio Perez can't get into the point, and Ferrari, McLaren, they're all cooking, taking wins off of Verstappen, seems like Red Bull might potentially lose that Constructors' Championship. And then what? They're angry, Max Verstappen gets a little sulky, they don't have Adrian Newey again to cook up another monster of a vehicle. That is all going down the drain. Red Bull are crumbling, all because of Sergio Perez. I think Sergio Perez deserves a seat in Formula 1, but probably not in that Red Bull. When things start to get tough and tight, yeah, they're not going to win that Constructors. Be real. Like, just be honest. Now, yes, Max Verstappen has carried for the last 2 seasons. He won the Constructors last year on his own, but this year is a totally different year. Totally. Anyway, with that said, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Do you want to see Logan Sargeant or Checo Perez still in the sport? And what team? Do they deserve to be in the sport? Do they deserve to be in the team that they are? Let me know down in the comments, and whilst you're there, you might as well like and subscribe. Don't know why you wouldn't. And with that said, have a safe and fantastic rest of your day. Don't die because then you can't watch the videos, and then that's kind of sad for everybody. Anyway, peace.